Hello, my name is Ryan Chapman. I'm a career outreach specialist at Southern New Hampshire University. I've been at the university 4 years now, helping students find success in their careers. And I'll be doing a series of interviews with employers who are working in the field of communications. And the first interview I'm going to have for you today is with Lisa Vasquez, who's the CEO of the company Stitch Smile Publications. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with us, Lisa. Any thoughts you want to tell to the students currently at this moment for the intro? So.
No, it's always great to be back with SNHU. I've been working with you guys for about 4 years also, actually, when I started my company. Some of the best employees and students that I've ever met have come from this school, so it's my pleasure to give back as much as I can.
Awesome, thank you. So I'll go ahead with my questions. So my first question for you is, what is the most interesting aspect of your career?
The most interesting aspect is the people that I get to meet. I get to see every single different walk of life. I've gotten to meet people who have been through wars in Germany. They come up, and since I write and I publish books and everybody's got a story to tell, they sort of come up and tell me theirs. And it's really interesting to hear the different aspects of everybody's life. And some of them will go into great detail and some of them will just give me the cliff notes of it. But I think that's probably the most interesting part of my job.
Okay, thank you. What can a student do to be successful in their job search from your words of wisdom?
The first thing is to always make sure that your resume is not only concise, but that it has a little bit of your personality in there, because you're going to go up against a lot of other people who have the same credentials. So a lot of volunteer work, a lot of interning to show that you can do on-the-job training or on-the-job tasks. Anything like that extra, employers are going to look at. I know I do for sure when I'm looking at what they're doing, what have they done in the past in addition to what their classes are. Because, for example, I take a couple of the interns from SNHU.
Mm-hmm.
They have their masters in creative writing or they have their masters in English. And so when they come to me, I still have to teach them, because fiction, we do dark fiction, and each genre has their own rules. So if I know that they've done creative writing and I know that they've worked with other people editing different genres, things like that, that is something that I look for. And it also helps me to see their personality, what are they reading, things like that. So try to do things, or at least volunteer or have some extracurricular activities in the field that you want to go to. And the second thing is talk to as many people in that field as you can, because you go into it thinking this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then when you start talking to people, you're like, oh, maybe I had a glamorized vision of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you looking for in potential candidates, and how important are writing samples portfolios in regards to find success in the field?
I find it extremely important. I want to know that the person that I'm bringing in to edit or to help mentor my authors has been in that situation. Sort of like when doctors go through, having an examination or being the patient, you want to make sure that they understand the concepts that they're trying to teach to somebody else. So, in my industry, in the indie press, there are a lot of indie presses that don't do things very well. And
Mm-hmm.
so we are priding ourselves on the fact that we teach, we mentor, we give back as much as possible, so that the authors have a good experience and then they can take something away from it and give to other authors as well. So knowing that you can be on the other side of editing and writing and things like that, it also tells me what you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things, there are certain skills that have changed. There are certain like I said, fiction rules for different genres. So I want to see that you can do nonfiction. I want to see that you can do fiction. I want to see your creativity, your open-mindedness, and the more creative you are, whether it's young adult, whether it's Christian, whether it's horror, whatever it is, I want to be able to see your range.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next question for you, for your organization specific, are there any potential opportunities available to our students, and how can students apply, and what does the application process look like?
So we don't actually take applications. What we do is you can send your resume to myself, and I share it with my head editor. My head editor is Donnell Party Whiting, and she has experience as a investigative journalist. So she's been in the field. She was out of Illinois,
Okay.
and so for a small paper there, and she's fantastic. She's my right hand. And so when I'm looking for potential candidates, we do our interviews together, and we do it sort of like this. We just talk to you, ask some questions, get to know the person, because like I said, we're a tight knit group. And so it's more of a family atmosphere, and we got to trust you with our children. So sure that everybody's on board and everybody's willing to work. We start everybody off with a internship. And what this is it's pretty much however long you want to do it for. You find out it's not for you, that's fine. Dark fiction, which is what we do, isn't for everybody. There are some, some things that not everybody's interested in, and that's okay. But you got to earn your chops. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn the rules for this genre. And so we do an internship, and once you're out of your internship, if we see that everything is good and that you're following all the rules and you're on target and you're on your deadlines, then we can offer you a freelance position, which will then, again, after a certain amount of time, could lead into a paid position.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So my final question for you is, what additional advice would you give to our students?
Read a lot.
Okay.
Read. No matter what it is, try to read different things. I think coming into this, I wasn't as good of an editor as I am now. We do weekly meetings, so every time we do a meeting, we try to throw something else that, something that's come across our desk, actually. So it's real time. Hey, I've got a question about this, and it's not something that's very common. So we go across that, and we're learning every single week. And it's like CEUs, you're continuously building your knowledge base that you're getting from SNHU. And so if you're reading, you're going to pick up on those things, and you're going to see that a lot of what's coming through is a change. It's a change. So there are certain things like vernacular that, for example, the word that, or passive voice, that is more common and accepted now. We don't do that, so we're more stringent. And I think coming in, we're going to ask you questions like, what do you read? Who's your favorite author? What's your favorite style of writing? And so if you aren't somebody who's a big reader, it would throw a red flag to me, because that's basically going to be your job. So read a lot, and like I said, really get to know people in the industry. Network is so important. You've got to learn that, because the jobs aren't going to fall into your lap. You've really got to be able to know the industry and know who you're talking to, and you never know who you're talking to and who knows who. So definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. This information is excellent, and students out there, you can find more of these interesting resources on our SNU career page. Feel free to log into your My SNU, look up SNHU career, and then you can find additional resources about the field of communications, of writing, of creative writing. So yeah, thanks for taking the time, Lisa. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.